Welcome. Pay attention, guys. Pay attention.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome to Technique Over Strength, a jiu-jitsu podcast. All right, guys. So this is episode 1 of the podcast, technically.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah. The whole episode is episode 1.
So Jiu-Jitsu Over Strength is basically going to be a podcast devoted to providing a resource to grapplers and jiu-jitsu practitioners. We're going to basically be recording techniques and drills that we've been going over throughout the week or throughout the last 2 weeks and breaking them down for you guys. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully it'll help some people out. We don't necessarily think it's only devoted to beginners, but, if the shoe fits, wear it. So anyway, my name is Professor Josh Garcia. Next to me, I have Professor Renny Gonzalez.
Henny Gonzalez.
Henny Gonzalez.
Renny Gonzalez.
Mr. Mike Hipskin.
Hello. How you guys doing?
And Mr. Freddie Pedrique. Is it Pedrique or Pedrique?
Pedrique. What's up, guys?
All right, guys. So Renny and myself are black belts under Michel Buyu Pereira. He is a 4th degree black belt, owner and head instructor of Carlson Gracie Miami. Also, a.k.a. Ghost Squad BJJ. Big shout out to all our Ghost Squad family out there. We are the owners of Technica Martial Arts. We are full-time instructors, Renny and myself, and
Professor Renny. For you, okay.
Yeah. Worked hard for that.
Anyway, so that's our intro, guys. Let's go around real quick and just have sort of everybody give a little intro on themselves. I'll start with me real quick. I've been training jiu-jitsu for about 9 years. Give or take, I don't really remember, honestly. I don't remember if it's 9 or 10 years. Started over at Extreme Martial Arts with Mike Cardoso. Shout out Extreme Martial Arts. Shout out Professor Mike Cardoso. Been training, I started training with Mike for about 3 or 4 years, and then Renny and I made the migration over to Professor Buyu at Carlson Gracie, where we have been training from purple, basically up to our recently promoted black belts. We are, at least for myself, I am a pretty much constant competitor. Like to compete at least every other month or every couple months when I get the chance. Try to do bigger tournaments, IBJJF stuff. And when I can, or if it's worthwhile, we'll do smaller tournaments. But pretty much just stick to the good stuff. So yeah, Renny?
Nice. Hey guys, I'm Renny Gonzalez. Other half owner of Technical Martial Arts here in Pinecrest, Florida, South Miami area. Been training about a decade in jiu-jitsu. Swell, been trying to compete this next year, 2018. Going to make it a goal at Technica to compete as much as we can. IBJJF, Abu Dhabi tournaments, basically any of those major tournaments. We do like to promote smaller competitions just for our students and, for us to get more competition experience. But obviously we know that, we have to compete in those bigger ones, to really test our skill and see where we are. For us, competition is much more than winning or losing. It's about getting to know our techniques and our drills and making sure that the work that we've been doing is still effective out in competition. So as far as work, I'm the head referee for the North American Grappling Association. I work throughout the whole United States with Naga, which has been a really good experience as far as for learning jiu-jitsu and learning the sport. And, you get to see, have had the chance to travel around and get to see the sport develop throughout the U.S., which has been really cool.
And let me just say, I think on behalf of all of us, congratulations on recently receiving your black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
That's big time.
After 10 years, over 10 years. So I'm very excited about this new step.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so let's move on. Freddie?
All right, so I'm Freddie. I am a blue belt under Felipe Neto. but now I currently train in Miami with Mike Cardozo, and I am one of the creators of BJJ World TV. If you guys ever check that out on YouTube.
Shout out BJJ World TV.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, that's what I do. And I've been training for about, I think I'm coming up on my 5th year. Yeah, it's always been awesome. It's not a lot to me.
Cool.
I'm Michael Hipskind. I am a purple belt here at Technica. Got my purple belt now just after 10 years of blue belts.
Nice.
Just stopping and coming on as a teenager. And besides jiu-jitsu, I do music, I sell equipment, and I also audio engineer, and I'll be producing and engineering this show for you guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Audio engineering, that comes in handy.
Yeah, guys, Mike is also a recently promoted
Purple belt.
to purple belt, and he is our podcast guru here. So thank you, Mike. Really appreciate that.
Absolutely, man.
seriously, man.
Pleasure.
So guys, we're gonna move on and start kind of like discussing and going over the format that's gonna be happening. We're gonna be doing this pretty much bi-weekly, and so every time that we do a podcast, we're gonna try to do a video to go along with it. So this week we did our butterfly guard drills. We actually did a couple of drills that we feel are really fundamental towards helping you maintain and develop a good, butterfly guard. It's really important that you do some of these drills, because just drilling regular technique, just drilling a standard hook sweep from butterfly and drilling that 100 times, you're going to get really good at getting that hook sweep, but you will not be good at handling variations.
Reactions and different reactions.
Yeah. So the first drill in the series is a double unders drill, where you basically sit up tight and get your double underhooks either on the belt or holding it, and then bring the person on top of you, elevate them, and then have the other person sort of like base with their arms, and then you bring them back down and sit back up, get nice and tight again. So we think that drill is just a really nice fundamental drill to start getting things going, get you to start learning how to use your hooks and how to elevate people. Anything you want to add to that, Coach?
Yeah, that's actually what I wanted to say. It's a really good drill to learn how to use your hooks, so that way you can properly apply the sweep when it comes time to. It's not really. You got to make sure when you teach this move or when you drill this move that you don't get used to like leaning back and loading your opponent on top of you. When you use the butterfly, these types of sweeps, you really want to go up to the side. You don't want to bring them all the way and have them load their weight on you. So for the drill, it works great. It's really good, like leg extension drill. Get your hooks strong.
Sort of like warms you up too.
Yeah, it gets you warmed up. But we can't get used to the mentality of falling back and letting our opponent on top of us.
Right. Yeah. You should never pull someone back when you're playing butterfly guard. You should always, fall over to the side.
Correct. And if they do push us back to our back, then we have our drill number 2.
Yeah. So the second drill in the series is our smash counter, which is really common against wrestlers, guys who play that tight passing game, pressure passing. They're going to try to put their head right in the middle of your chest, flatten you down, sit you back. And it's good. It's a good technique to use. Definitely works. You can do the Rennie jump over pass. I've also seen Javi doing that pass. It's pretty much their go-to pass. Some of the guys we train with.
I think Marcelo does it too.
Oh yeah,
Probably much better.
Some guy named Marcelo Garcia. So it's a good drill. Basically, it gets you accustomed to the reaction of sitting someone back up when they flatten you down, getting those double overhooks. Using the grips that you do have, because basically the person on top is taking away your double underhooks and they're trying to smash you to pass. So using those overhooks, cupping behind the elbows and flaring them out as you sit up. It's a really good drill. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see any of the drills yet, because Freddie wasn't here when we recorded them, but Mike did.
Yeah.
It's a good drill.
It's a great drill, especially when it comes to, when you're playing butterfly guard. Usually your opponent's going to try to put you flat on the back, put your back flat on the mat so that they can pass. So this is a good defense to reset and go back into your offensive butterfly so you can attack, continue to sweep, and continue to, play your game.
Yeah, it's a good drill to also know how to position your back and your whole body, not only your legs, because you're rocking back and forth, so keep your core like nice and strong too.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely have to flex your core when you're sitting up there. That's really important. A lot of people just try to like push away with their legs. But you gotta do like a sit-up. You gotta really strengthen and tighten up that core when you sit up. But what about when they pull away, Coach?
Well, when they pull away, we go to option number 3.
Yeah, guys. So the third drill in the series is when you do get those double underhooks. A lot of the time, top guy will resist and pull away, put their forearm in your face, maybe. Not be very nice. So we have a counter for that. We want to sit up, use the momentum that the other guy is giving us by pulling away. Keep those double underhooks nice and tight. Keep your head buried in their chest. And then drive forward. It's sort of like that bear hug takedown. It's very commonly seen in MMA. It's like a double unders. Sort of just squeeze forward, drive your head in the middle. But it's very effective. I've also seen Marcelo using this a lot, and he teaches it a lot as well. So the only thing you got to be careful of is not hurting your training partner when you do this technique. Make sure that you dump them off over to the side and not straight back on their knees, right, Coach?
During training, of course, if you're in competition, a lot of the times this move just turns into like a double leg or single leg. Well, mainly double leg because you're going straight forward. So typically, if you're equal size, equal weight, you shouldn't hurt your partner. This is mainly true if we have a much bigger opponent doing it to a smaller opponent, or where they can fall back and hurt their knees. So make sure that you pay attention to the details on the video and see how we teach the top player to adjust their legs, so that way when you fall back, there is no pressure on your knee, and you can train and practice it safely.
Tomorrow.
You can come back and train another day.
All right, so the fourth technique is our hook sweep. So we don't
hook sweep.
Yeah, hook sweep got me from white belt, from late white belt over to like purple belt. I was just using hook sweeps,
and it still works today.
I still use it today, and it's funny because I thought that I was just going to use hook sweeps my entire jiu-jitsu career. Like, that was going to be my only offense at one point. I swear. But you develop your game. But definitely something that, I think I could just develop a whole game off of butterfly guard.
Some guys like Tagarella up in ATT Miramar have, actually ATT Aventura, that's Tagarella, have really good. Yeah, shout out to Taga. Miramar.
Shout out my HF brothers.
Yeah, Miramar is actually Baga, so shout out to Baga too. Great instructor. But Aventura, he developed a huge, when he was competing in the worlds and everything, and got some titles. His main game was butterfly guard. He was very good at that. And butterfly guard just sets up to so many other options. X guard, single leg X, just so many other different moves. And then as you advance, you'll actually be able to combo these moves. Like the matches, so you talk about that. They'll do like bump sweeps, and then after that, mix them in with their basically hook sweeps after they fail their first sweep. So even though it's a fundamental move, you should be able to use it throughout your whole jiu-jitsu career, and then use it to set up to more advanced guards.
Yeah, so that first drill, it's actually the fourth drill in the series, but it's the first where you actually perform the hook sweep. The way we like to do it is you do it on the count of 3. So basically you do 2 false hook sweeps, and then you do the complete hook sweep. So you do 1, 2, and then on 3 you finish.
Cut for now.
Cut it.
But at least we got the drills section, and then we'll just have to finish the move next.
It's gonna suck when I have to pay like I'm not worried about looking ugly. I don't care about chip teeth. I just
mean, dude, I mean, it's nice to have all your teeth and not lose them, you know? No, I'm a fan. I definitely don't roll without it. And when I do, it's funny because when I don't, I usually don't get hit in the face, but when I don't wear it, I get hit in the face. It's like, fuck.
Yeah. No, man, I've been wearing it sometimes. Like, it's happened to me maybe like two, maybe 3 times where I've been wearing it and I've gotten hit hard on my tooth and like kneed, you know, like a knee or an elbow hard where I think it would have like
Fucked your shit up.
Yeah, I think it would have fucked up the tooth.
You weren't wearing it?
Yeah.
Go back up, talking about our moves and.
Go, dog, before you come to practice.
All right, guys. Piatinhos. Leading into technique number 4 on the video series, we have the hook sweep. The way we like to drill the hook sweep basically is we do it on the count of 3. So rather than just doing your regular hook sweep where you just get your, you know, double unders, double overs, over under, and then just do your hook sweep, what you want to do is you want to do it, attempt a hook sweep, have your partner post on that leg, then have them post a second time, and then on the count of 3, finally finish the hook sweep, mount or to side control. The choice is yours.
It should be 5 times.
5. Yeah, I mean you can add times to it if you want. You can.
That's like judo practice. In judo, when they practice like a lot of takedowns.
Yeah, it's like micro drilling.
Yeah. Well, that's what's the most important part of the move is that entry.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't want to waste a lot of time just you know doing the sweep and then having to like reset, go back up. That takes time.
And it's important to understand how to, you know, sort of like counter when people post up, you know, like on the, you know, when they post that leg up when you try to sweep them. It's important to know how to like reset the position. You know, you got to be able to like get right back into butterfly guard and like be able to like be ready to sweep again.
Correct.
You know, sometimes you just try that hook sweep one time, it doesn't work, and then, you know, they start passing your guard or you sort of gave up or whatever, and you know, it's not conducive to getting a good guard game going.
Guys, for this, what do you like more? Double unders, double overs, 1 under, 1 over?
Yeah, that's actually interesting. Yeah, it is a good question. Professor?
Actually, you know, I traditionally you do 1, you know, over, 1 underhook, 1 overhook, but I've actually been playing a lot more of the double over, just because it's you have not only you have a lot of setups, but you can switch directions at any time, so you don't have to only attack to one side. So as you get, you know, more or higher level opponents, you know, if you start underhooking and overhooking, they're already gonna know which direction you're gonna go to. So, Professor, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of the double overhook butterfly guard. I like to play with the double overhooks. It's really good to be able to like switch sides, you know, like go. Sometimes it's really easy for people to tell which side you're gonna sweep to, just because they kind of like look at the overhook and they're like, oh, he's trying to sweep me to the left or he's trying to sweep me to the right. But if you have the double overhooks, then the choice is yours. Like, they can post to one side and it's really easy to switch directions. So for me, like, especially when I started developing my butterfly guard, in the beginning I started playing like the over under, but then once I got really like comfortable retaining the butterfly guard, I started playing around with the double overs, and I found it to be way more effective against higher level competition or higher level training partners.
Yeah,
you know, it just works better for me. Maybe it's just my short arms, and you know.
No, Rennie showed it to me. It was last week, I think you showed it, and I never seen the double overhook. It was awesome, man. I usually play just a traditional 1 over, 1 under. Yeah, and I never seen that when you showed it. It was pretty dope. Big fan of a double overhook.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like, I think with the double overhooks is that the guy on top sort of feels that he's in a really strong position because he's got the double underhooks, because you're giving him the double underhooks. But you actually have a strong position yourself, because you still have the butterfly hooks in there, and as long as you make your angles the right way, you put your hips out to the side, then it works. It works.
Yeah, Marcelo's really good. When he does these kind of setups, and he's really quick to fall to the side.
Yeah.
For these type of butterfly sweeps.
Yeah. And then, speaking of which, the fifth and final technique in the series is the actual switch. So, once you start working on that whole butterfly guard series, and you get used to doing the hook sweep to, let's say, to the right, you get really good at just doing it 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on 5, however many times you wanna do the entry. Then you do the switch. So you have the person defend, and then you actually just move your hips on over to the other side and switch directions. So it's once you get accustomed to switching the direction to the other side there, it's really, really powerful. That's when you start to get, I think, really dangerous with your butterfly guard, is when you can switch directions like that.
Yeah, it's the ability to be able to trick your opponent. As when you're white and blue belt level, and especially if you're going against other opponents, say that they're about your same level, you could try the move, plan A, and then it'll work out. As you get into more skilled opponents, you're gonna have to set them up. You're gonna have to use combination sweeps. So this one really works very well if you're attempting to sweep to one side first, and as your opponent bases and defends by coming back, then you counter by attacking and switching directions. So you're using his momentum to bring him over.
Guys, let me just take a moment here to apologize for any background noise you may hear. This podcast is being recorded inside dojo. So with that comes all of the dojo sounds.
That doesn't matter.
Fight life, bro.
Yeah, fight life.
We don't just talk about it, we do it, we live it. We're here, dude. We're here on
We out here.
Technical BJJ.
Or we in here.
Yeah.
So guys, that concludes the drills video section, and we're gonna move it along, basically start to wrap things up here on this first episode. And
we still got to talk about some current events.
Yeah,
we got to talk about some news.
Yeah, I know. Just relax, bro.
Okay. You're saying wrap things up. I was,
just relax,
excited.
Man. This guy's trying to take over the show. I run this shit.
Relax, okay? Relax.
I'm the Joe Hogan.
Joe Hogan.
You're Red Band.
What's his assistant's name?
Mike is Jamie.
Oh no, we didn't do Guillotine from Butterfly.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry guys.
Because I see it. It's okay. Mike will fix it and make it look good.
Sorry guys.
We should do that's number 6. Then when you try it and then.
That's right, guys. Sorry, I forgot to discuss the 6th technique. So that's finally the 6th and final technique. It's not actually a hook sweep. So you attempt the hook sweep, and then your opponent does the correct action in moving his head over to the other side and trying to defend and post, and that will give you the opportunity to throw up a arm in guillotine. So that is another technique that's really good to have in the inventory. Yeah, we did record it. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did record it. It's technique number 6. I'm sorry.
It's a good combination, especially after you've tried the butterfly, the sweep a few times, and maybe you've caught your opponent a few times.
Yeah.
It's a good setup for their defense.
Yeah, it's really good to switch things up, and that's another one of those techniques that sort of just arises out of necessity. Because once you start getting really good at that butterfly sweep, your opponents start to, or not your opponents, but your training partners, naturally will adapt to your game. So you got to start throwing up some different attacks. So that concludes the drilling section. All right, guys. So we're gonna move it along. Not this past weekend, but 2 weeks ago, we had Nogi Worlds, IBJJF Nogi Worlds, and we actually had Professor Rennie attend before he was Professor Rennie. He was a different person back then. He was actually a different person back then. And so why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your experience out at Nogi Worlds, Coach or Professor?
IBJJF Nogi Worlds was a great, very, very well organized event. Everything, their bracketing times, everything was, it was amazing how organized and how well run the event was. They had the matches on flow grappling, which was really cool. We had some of our guys compete as well. I remember one of our guys, Matt, as soon as his match was done, he logged into flow grappling and searched his name and found himself and started watching his match to see what mistakes he made. So that part is really cool. That aspect of learning from the experience, and then obviously seeing all the big names, Keenan, Otto's, like that squad was, man, some savages. So it was really, really cool and really humbling experience to go and compete, be able to compete, and be able to do what we love to do, what we train so hard for, out on that stage.
Yeah, I think it's something. It's really special to be out there on that stage out in California. Earlier in the year, I was out in Vegas for Masters Worlds, and it's just so great to like be able to go out and compete, and especially like when you get to travel, it's just awesome, man. It's like living that jiu-jitsu lifestyle is just makes you want to do it full time, makes you want to ask yourself why you got a day job. And
you pay bills, you gotta work.
Well, we're working on that. So, but yeah, guys, it's a really good experience competing. What about any good matches for Nogi Worlds? Were you able to see anything that was?
I saw some of the matches, but to be honest, before I was worried about weight. I was worried about my teammates, warming them up and stuff. So I was a little bit more selfish. So I actually didn't really watch as many of the high level matches as I wish I would have. I saw Boogie. I saw him go out there. He won. I think he won his first round. He submitted the guy, caught him with some crazy I think it was a gogo plata or omoplata. I don't recall right now. But then afterwards he had the next matchup, and I believe he ended up losing as a referee decision, something very close. But it's cool seeing some of those guys. Some of the guys that do the EBIs and other submission only formats still try to go into IBJJF and still do well. There's especially at black belt, it's a really tough division. You have guys that could be black belts for 10, 15 years, or you could have guys that are brand new black belts. So
yeah,
it's a whole different world.
Yeah, for us, especially for us now, we gotta jump in with those monsters.
So we just gotta train hard. That's it. Train hard.
Real level.
It's a nice wake up call.
We talk about this. It's not a lot of times it's not about knowledge. It's more about implementation of your game. So there's a lot of guys, and that's why you see Keenan. He's a newer black belt. AJ Agazar. Guys that are haven't been black belts for that long, but they're still going in there and doing very well in competition because they can implement their game.
Absolutely.
What about you, Freddie? Did you see anything? Any cool matches?
Dude, there was a couple good matches, man. The Lucas Barboza match versus
Savage.
What's this guy's name, man? The Checkmat guy. Hold on, let me look it up. Jackson Salsa.
Oh, Jackson Souza.
Yeah, dude, that was a freaking barn burner, man. Lucas Barbosa was on fire, man. Submitted everybody, I think.
Yeah, he was. He's. All I gotta say is, he's eating some good acai. That guy's ridiculous,
I mean,
man.
his nickname is the Hulk, man. You gotta look it if you're gonna.
But I guess when you come out of Atos, a school like that, you're gonna train with Galval every day. You're gonna, plus all the rest of the monsters that are there. It's gonna be. You're gonna get better, for
Absolutely.
sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then, and then you got some acai, and before you know it, you're ultra heavy, and
Yeah, it's a lot of push-ups and pull-ups and
yeah, man.
And
Hey, man.
yeah. To each his own, okay?
He had some tough matches, man. He fought Joao Assis and Elliot Kelly in that super heavyweight.
Yeah.
So he had some tough matches, man. The guy definitely put in some work. That's for sure.
Yeah, I saw. Was it Joao or Paulo? One of them. Yeah, I was like.
I think it was Joao.
I think it was Joao. I think he went all the way to finals and pretty much submitted everyone. I don't think there was. I think there was one guy. I think in the finals he may not have submitted in the finals, but everybody always talking about how the Meows just like play Berimbolo and stuff like that. These guys are advancing their games. And I seen them passing, like their passing style has gotten ridiculous lately. They used to only be known for their guard game, but I saw some really sick passing from Nogi.
Yeah. Dude, their game's amazing. I don't know if you see, but they like rack up the points on you and then submit you.
Well, that's always been like an old strategy of scoring points, getting your opponent down on points, and then now like his strategy has to change. He has to open up.
Yeah,
He has
because
to try
everybody
to
knows
go
how to
for
play him
submission.
now.
Yeah. You can't like if you're down 9 points, you can't really like expect to sweep the guy, pass his guard, mount him. Unless whatever. I guess you still can't catch up, but usually you start opening up to make more mistakes.
I mean, if you're down that many points, you're already you have to finish the guy. Chances are you're not gonna have enough time to get those points back. So you're probably already thinking like, the only way I'm gonna win is I sub this guy.
What about is there any big tournaments coming up?
No, dude, I know there's a fight to win in January 12th. Wagner's fighting Dustin Agbari. That's gonna be fucking awesome.
What rules is that?
Probably the fight to win
Sub-only
ones or
jiu-jitsu?
sub only, yeah. And if it goes to OT, if it like time runs out and they don't submit each other, it's a referee decision. And it's like they do little flags. But I'm excited for that, man. Wagner's been killing it this year, man. He's competed almost everything.
So it's gonna be sub only.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's fight to win. They do like
do
super
this,
fights.
Yeah, like
That's
sub
right.
only. And
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I like the rule set. I like how they base it off of submission attempts, but I would wish that there weren't like half-ass submission attempts. Like if you throw up like a toe hold, that'll never work.
That's where you need to have good refs, though.
Yeah.
That can recognize what a real sub is.
Because that's what the basis is. So it's like, sub only, and if the time runs out, then the judges decide on like who had the most submission attempts, who was like the most aggressive. I like that rule set. I think it's pretty cool.
And wasn't there a combat EBI coming up, a combat jiu-jitsu one where wasn't Gordon gonna fight in one?
He was trying to get
Yeah.
a fight with
Kevin Casey?
Wasn't he gonna
Guy
do it?
from
Jesus,
Gracie?
that's a hell of a slap match.
Yeah.
No.
He's fighting Vinny Magalhaes.
Vinny.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
official.
Is it official?
That's official, yeah.
Is it combat jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. I don't know
That's
what the
crazy.
date is. Yeah, let me pull it up. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man.
And I'm sure that's gonna be on Fight Pass.
Yeah, it'll be on Fight Pass. Dude, what do you guys feel about that? You guys like the slapping around, or we're not there yet?
I'd rather see that than a bad wrestling match. So I'd rather see the slapping from the mount than a 10-minute ADCC, stand up with
No one can take anyone
Yeah,
down.
with
No one wants to
fantastic
pull guard.
jiu-jitsu athletes, like top of the line jiu-jitsu athletes, but okay
Gordon
wrestlers.
Ryer and Vinny, May 5th
May 5th.
in Vegas. Jesus.
Oh, that's right. I heard Eddie talking to Joe Rogan about that. They saying that he wasn't gonna be. I think he wasn't gonna make the trip to Vegas. Yeah.
Oh yeah, cause that's true.
But so yeah, they were talking about that. That's gonna be a big one, man. And that one might draw some new eyes to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like because they're not the biggest names, but they're both sort of like how would I say? They're both very like
definitely
polarizing figures, right?
And I mean, Vinny has MMA experience too, which is gonna come into like. I think that's what like Wagner, that helped him out a
Yeah.
lot since Wagner also did MMA. Like, you start,
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
But I
Wagner
definitely-
had that first TKO, that first Combat Worlds TKO versus Nathan. Just slapped him.
Slapped
Yeah,
that crap. Yeah, man, that was
kind of looks
best.
stupid though.
Well, I
That
mean,
was so funny, man.
if you get into a dominant position where your opponent, you have say dominant mount control and he can't escape and you're slapping. I mean, if it was MMA or if you were
Yeah, it
punching,
would have stopped. It would have stopped.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
What was
That was
there
crazy.
a fight I watched the other day. It just happened. The guy walked away just fine, just pissed, but because he got slapped silly
Yeah.
from the back, except with gloves on. But yeah, man. But I like that combat It
You like
makes
it?
Yeah, man. I mean, watching it, I haven't watched too much of it, but I like the concept, just bringing it back, just like, you know, like, let's make this real again, you know, it's not,
Sure.
let's not lose track. And just turn it into another judo and just points and
You definitely have to have
you know
Awareness.
Sort of positioning is very important, and positions that in jiu-jitsu aren't so important, they become super important. Like that mount position, like you said, it's hard to escape that if somebody's teeing off on you, man. Like
Yeah.
just slapping you. That's what happened to Nathan.
Yeah, high level jiu-jitsu guy.
And you see that
positions.
you see that a lot in MMA. Like, you know, a guy gets mounted, starts getting punched in the face. His natural reaction a lot of times is to turn around, give up his back.
yeah.
Now you're, you know, now you have a really
Yeah.
good jiu-jitsu guy on your back trying to choke you
Yeah.
out. You know, that's trouble. So I mean, that's like the combat jiu-jitsu is cool for that aspect, because then, like, you know, like bottom half guard. You know, like, is that where you want to be? And
Yeah,
if you're,
absolutely.
you know, if you can get slapped in the face. So the game does change.
Those old school positions just become
Really important.
But the
Yeah.
double overhook sweep from butterfly guard will work just fine.
that does.
yeah, you get those overhooks, you can't get slapped, man.
Yeah, you can't get slapped.
That's it. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Definitely.
So look into that. Look into it.
Look into it.
All right, guys. Moving on. Let's talk about our New Year's plans, guys. What is everybody doing for New Year's? What about next year, competition-wise? What do you got in the?
I think
pipeline?
everybody's goal should be to train more, train harder,
Oh yeah.
get stronger, get more, you know, get more into the lifestyle, and then
Bigger,
definitely,
faster, stronger.
Yeah, definitely compete more.
Yeah, definitely.
Competition, like, you know, there was this coach that came up to me. I can't remember his name right now, but I was speaking to him about competition, and this guy is like 3rd-degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's been competing for a long time, and, you know, I kind of asked him, like, you know, what keeps you driven, you know, after 20 years of you know, competing and stuff. And it's crazy because competition is, you know, you're already, like, you know, fortunate enough that you get to go out there to places like California, Vegas, and things like that to compete, you know. And then, like, the medal is just like the little icing on the cake, you know, like whatever place you get or whatever, however you do, you know, like it's you know, if you worked hard for it, if you trained hard that year, you know, you'll most likely do well. You know, and if you didn't, or you know, if injuries, if things happen, you know, like, that's just part of life. It's just, you got to learn from the experience and, you know, kind of deal with it. So definitely competition for 2018.
Freddie, what about you, man?
That's one for me, man. I definitely trying to. Well, it's like a New Year. Are we doing like a New Year's resolution type thing? Is that what we're doing?
Why not? Why not?
Because if I put it on the waves, then I really have to do it. All right, look, I'll put it this way. So for me, next year goals, I definitely got to eat a lot cleaner. And then I have to compete more. This past year I competed like 4 times, but I did it all in the span of like 3 to 4 months. So it's kind of like a action-packed little bit. But then I stopped. This time I want to do it like, you know, more like a
Season, full
like,
season,
yeah,
full
you
year,
know,
full year.
maybe compete once a month or once every other month, and then that would just keep me in like that competition step and like the competition shape and that competition mindset that, you know, you need to go in there.
Ricky Semiglia, is that how you say his last name? Yeah, he did that. Like, he made it like a goal to compete once every month, and then ended up competing like a bunch of times. Like, that to me, like, that's how you get better.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
like,
Absolutely. You got to see what works.
yeah. And then, you know, like, that's just jiu-jitsu advice. But
And it also, people underestimate the value of losing.
there's
Losing makes you better.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just that reality check. You lose, you know exactly what you need to work on. You know, you got to come back to the drawing board, and it's
That
just
keeps you honest, man.
honest.
And you know
Yeah.
you can lose.
Yeah.
Like, that first
And then-
that loss is just like, I can move on from this, and
Yeah, exactly. It's not the end of the world,
Exactly.
or whatever. I survived. My
Yeah,
family
it's a
didn't
big-
disown me.
it's a big lesson.
yeah.
It's crazy because even after that loss, you're like, man, you know, like, you know, you can fix that. You know, you can go back and watch the tapes and stuff. You're like, okay, I did this, and then you could just work on that, and then that won't be a hole in your game anymore. You know.
Even that day of the loss, you're lost. You're like, all right, let's help my teammates. Let's get through this. And that loss doesn't linger with you. It just, you know,
It's just you know, it's just a match.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times, like, imagine if, like, you know, when you come to train and like all you're worried about is just one roll for the whole week. You know, like competition is just a match, and the odds are 50%, you know, that you're gonna win, or 50% you're gonna lose, because it's 2 opponents.
Maybe you, man.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. In general, half. You know, there's 2 people, so one person's gonna lose.
I got 51%, and the other guy's got 49, homie.
I think you
all
got
the
more.
time.
I think you got like.
All the time.
I don't. Well, I in my eyes, it's always 51-49 at least.
I think you got more than that. I was gonna say 60-40, but okay.
I'll take 51.
There's like some 80-20 rule we're like not doing here. I think it should always be 80% you, then 20% them.
Good. I'll take that too, bro.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's fair.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, man. I definitely want to start weightlifting a little more. Get a little stronger.
Yeah.
I've been lacking on that. Definitely want to compete more. I think last year I only was able to compete once. Wasn't able to take too many weekends off, but definitely want to compete a couple times this year at least. It would be nice to do like 4 competitions. That's a nice goal.
Yeah, we want to see you in there too.
Yeah, man, get more comfortable in there. I mean, the last competition I did was first competition as blue belt in like 10 years. That's crazy. That's crazy, man.
And now you gotta jump up to purple.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's real. So.
But you're ready.
No, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
The thing is, like, you don't, you know, like, I don't, you know, I said a lot of competition, but like, you don't really have to like compete. It's not for everybody, you know. Like if you're training hard and like it takes a lot. It's just, you're right. You got to do weight training. You got to eat clean. You know, like you got to sleep right. There's a lot of aspects to it. But if you're really into like trying to find out about your own jiu-jitsu, I think that's where it's at.
Yeah, it's definitely.
But some people train jiu-jitsu for fun and like for self-defense, for fitness, and like, and that's all good too. Cause like that's, sometimes we got to remember that like everybody has their own walk of life. You know, like, but you know, for us that are, you know, into it and want to get better and want to continue to improve and see your, you know, the holes in your game, that's, you know, that's where it's at.
But I even feel like even if you're not, you know, if you're one of those guys doing it for like a hobby or something, you should compete once. That's like life stuff too, you know.
Oh yeah, it's a great experience too.
Great life experience.
Everyone should compete.
Yeah, just
at
once.
least once.
Just once. Yeah.
It definitely helps with your game.
For sure.
Highly recommend it.
All right, guys. So with that, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Want to thank everybody for listening and tuning in. Like to apologize one more time for any background noise stuff you hear in the background. You know, we're recording here in the dojo. Pretty soon we're gonna start
live.
Yeah, it's live. And pretty soon we're gonna start recording on the mats. We're gonna be the only jiu-jitsu podcast recorded on the mats.
On the mats, yeah. I thought that was gonna happen today. I was excited, but
We had some technical difficulties.
well, I guess today wouldn't have worked out anyways. But
Yeah, we forgot an extension cord.
Rocket science stuff.
All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in. We're gonna try to get another episode up in about 2 weeks, hopefully, if we can all coordinate.
bi-weekly. It's gonna be a bi-weekly thing.
So look for that, guys. And shout out to BJJ World TV. Shout out Technical BJJ. Shout out Carlson Gracie Miami.
Shout out to Hipskin Productions. Is that
Who are we missing? All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Push.